It was a rainy autumn evening. The rain hammered on the roof like impatient fingers. The 24-hour McDonald's in the industrial area was almost empty. Just a couple of sleepy truck drivers and me, Marco, who had just finished my factory shift at 11 p.m. I only wanted a Big Mac and to go home. At the counter, there was a new guy, pale with deep dark circles under his eyes. He handed me the bag without really looking at me. While I was paying, my eyes fell on the life-sized Ronald McDonald statue near the entrance. The plastic one with the striped suit, fake red hair, and that permanent smile. But that night, the smile looked different, too wide, like it had a few too many teeth. And the eyes, those glassy blue eyes, seemed to follow my every movement. I shook my head. I'm just tired. Before I left, the cashier whispered something strange, barely moving his lips. If you see Ronald move, don't look at him for too long, and whatever you do, don't smile back at him. I laughed nervously and stepped out in the rain. As I walked past the statue, I heard a faint creak, like plastic bending under weight. I spun around. Ronald was in exactly the same position, hand raised in greeting. Yet, his right arm seemed to be sticking out a few centimeters closer toward me. I got home soaked, ate quickly, and went to bed. At 3:14 a.m., my phone vibrated on the nightstand. Unknown number. One single message. He saw you smiling. The next day, I read in the local newspaper. A 28-year-old man found dead in the McDonald's parking lot. Neck snapped in an unnatural way, as if he had been yanked upward with brutal force. On his phone, the last photo taken was him making a peace sign next to Ronald. In that photo, Ronald no longer had his usual friendly smile. He was smiling exactly like the dead boy, with the same teeth. Ever since then, every time I drive past a McDonald's at night, I check the statue, and I swear, some evenings the harm looks a little closer to the glass. I had been working the drive-thru at the McDonald's on Highway 45 for 6 months, the one out in the middle of nowhere between the fields. The shift from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. paid well, but the boredom got into your bones, and sometimes something else did too. One night, the fog was so thick you couldn't see 10 meters ahead. At 2:37 a.m., the first car arrived. An old gray station wagon, no license plate, windows completely blacked out. The intercom crackled. A hoarse voice, like it was coming from a throat full of gravel. "One Big Mac, no meat, and a medium Coke, no ice." Weird order, but it happens. I prepared it, pulled up to the window, and handed over the bag. The hand that came out of the car was deathly white, fingers way too long and thin, nails yellowish. It took the food without a word, no thank you, no sound of the engine revving. I glanced at the security camera monitor. The inside of the car was empty, just the driver's seat lit by the neon menu board. No person, no shape, only darkness. A few minutes later, the exact same car, or at least identical, same voice, same order, 7 times in a row, always 2:37, and the fog seemed to get thicker each time. On the 8th car, the voice changed. It wasn't hoarse anymore. It was clear, close, as if it was speaking directly into my ear through the intercom. "Thank you for serving us all these nights. Now, it's your turn to come out the window." The next day, the McDonald's suddenly closed for urgent renovation work. I never went back. But ever since then, in my third floor apartment, around 2:37 a.m., I hear the sound of an electric car window rolling down. Even though I don't have a car parked outside, and sometimes in the fridge I find a warm McDonald's bag with a Big Mac, no meat. My daughter Sophia was 7.5 when she started begging every single day, "Dad, I want a Happy Meal with Grimace." It was the time when those purple mascot toys were super popular. I finally gave in. We went to the McDonald's at the shopping mall after school. We ordered, sat at a table by the window, and she opened the box with sparkling eyes. Inside was the Grimace toy, and a carefully folded note written by hand in dark red ink, almost brown. "Eat everything. I'm watching you from inside the toy." I thought it was a stupid prank by some employee. We laughed and threw the note away. That night, Sophia woke up screaming at exactly 3 a.m. She said Grimace was under her bed and had whispered to her in a childlike voice, "You left 3 fries in the carton. That's not good." The next morning, the complete Happy Meal was sitting on her nightstand, untouched. The fries were still hot and crispy, as if they had been fried 5 minutes earlier. The Grimace toy was smiling on her pillow. We went back to the McDonald's to complain. The manager, a man in his 50s, turned white as a sheet when he saw the toy. "Those Grimace figures, we haven't made them for years. They were recalled in 2018 after an 8-year-old boy disappeared at the McDonald's playground in this area. The last thing they found was his Happy Meal, with a similar note inside." Since then, Sophia doesn't eat meat anymore. She says Grimace promised her that if she always finishes everything on her plate, one day he will take her to play forever in McDonald's land. I check under the bed every night, but lately the floor is sticky, and it smells like barbecue sauce, even though we haven't used any in the house for months.